I'd like to reconvene the Budget Committee. It's 5:30 Wednesday evening, and we're ready to convene for a public hearing and public testimony to be received, and some administrative details we'd like to say a couple things here first. If you wish to testify, we want you to fill out a card, and we thank those who have already, and you've given it to Roxanne Fisher. And when you come forward to speak, we'd like you to state your name and address for the record. And we generally give about 3 minutes for testimony, but we may be a little lenient this evening and offer a minute or two extra if you need. And we'll call people up in order that we've received them by twos. And
is there two?
please, yes, please make sure, I think the microphone lights are on, so when you speak into the microphone. And we want to thank you for coming and participating this evening. So I'd like to call forward Angela Trimble and Martha McLennan to come forward and speak on behalf of their advocacy for homeless services.
Good evening. My name is Martha McLennan. I'm the Executive Director of Northwest Housing Alternatives, and thank you for having us here this evening. It's good to see you all. I wanted to speak a little bit about our home-based program, which is a program that the county has supported with general fund dollars. I'm usually before the county board talking about your federal funds, but tonight, general fund. So home-based does eviction prevention and rapid rehousing for families who are at risk of experiencing homelessness or who are experiencing homelessness. Prevention is kind of the best strategy in this situation, and so it's been a great program to keep people from becoming homeless to begin with, or to get them back into housing as quickly as possible. The county board has been supporting this program since 2012 with general fund dollars. That has included historically $100,000 in the social services division and $100,000 in the community development division. In the social services division, that $100,000 has gotten baked into the base budget. But in the community development department, I think that has been most of those years funded as one-time funding. And it is not clear to me this year whether it's included or not in the budget. I know that ad packages were not allowed in the budget process from the different departments, so I've just been unsure about whether it's been included or not. So I wanted to call your attention to that and tell you how important it is to have this funding. As you know, homelessness is a growing problem. It has been dogging us and escalating, particularly in Clackamas County in the suburbs. The homeless count this last year showed almost a 10% increase in the number of people experiencing homeless. That was almost 2,300 individuals in the point in time count. And of those, almost 1,300 people were counted as unstably housed, couch searching, or at imminent risk of homelessness. And that is really the target population for the eviction prevention services. Many of those folks are families with kids, and so again, it's a really high priority to keep those folks in housing, keep those kids in school where they can succeed in life. So just wanted to, again, appreciate the funding that you have given over the years, the support that I know is in the social services budget, and fingers crossed that either it is in the community development budget or that you will find a way to sustain that funding for the coming fiscal year. Just a quick.
No. Well, so if I may, when Mr. Swift gave his presentation to you earlier today, he had identified that he was allocating funds from his fund balance in the director's office and had specifically set aside $100,000 proposed for the home-based program for homeless prevention services. And that was a part of the proposal to address the fact that the county had funded this on a policy level proposal basis in past years. He was trying to cover for a continuation for the coming year.
So what about the other 100?
Well, I'll find out about that, but I understood that as an ongoing commitment.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not sure. What was the second fund?
Well, it's in social services. I spoke with Brenda Durbin yesterday, who indicated it was included in her
This
budget.
$100,000 covers in addition to what's in the social service.
Right.
Oh,
budget.
okay,
So
so
that's-
then you're,
200 total, 100 in each division.
well, then then we have it done.
100 of it was baked in, as you said.
Yeah.
And the other 100 is the 100 you're talking about, which is coming out of the direct.
Right.
Yeah.
We said that was a priority.
Yes, so, and
Thank you.
to that point, we have talked about that today, and it is an important and known issue that the county is aware of. Thank you for your testimony. Yes, next.
My name is Angela Trimble. I'm also an employee with Northwest Housing Alternatives. Since we've kind of answered the question, perhaps I'd like to share some statistics of last year's efforts. We were able to serve 184 households with that funding just last year, and that equated to about almost 500 people. 71% of those households were households with children. One of the stories that I brought today was a couple that had been renting a house that was being foreclosed upon. They were paying rent to somebody who they didn't realize was not paying their mortgage. And so as they were approaching to be out, we were able to then, they had taken the last of their Social Security and they had been able to secure an apartment. We were able to take these funds and to help get them into that unit, and they're able to handle it on their own from there. There was another story of a woman who had lost her partner due to cancer, and she wasn't able to work for a while, and we were able, she kind of called us in trouble, about to lose her unit. We kind of helped her for a few months, gave her some time to kind of grieve, and she was able to get back to work and again is on her own doing just fine. We had a lovely father who had come through the shelter who was at an Oxford house, and he was struggling with addiction issues. And he got the news that he was going to get his daughter back into his custody, which motivated him to continue to be sober, but to get out of the Oxford house because that was not an appropriate place for him and his child. So they came into the Annie Ross house. He was able to be with us, go into transitional for a year. He now has a home of his own with his daughter. He struggled, obviously, being a single dad and having a teenage daughter for the first time and that whole thing. So I think staff kind of provided the womanly support at times. But he now has his own home with us. We were able to help him get into move-in fees with the Section 8 voucher. He's got a full-time job down at Duffy's, and he's cooking down there, and he's doing really well. So I just want to thank you. Those are just some of the stories that we have of the efforts that we are able to do with your support. So thank you so much.
For sharing those stories. And yes.
I don't know anyone from the city of Milwaukee. Whatever happened with your project? Is
Have
it
you not
moving
heard?
No.
Where have you been?
Well, I didn't want to.
ask your city council?
So we are heavy into the capital campaign phase of fundraising for the project. We expect to be able to break ground in the fall and get started with construction. We are working with what the transition plan for homeless services while we don't have the shelter will be, and have been talking to some of the faith community in the county about how they might step up and how we can work in partnership with them. But we are excited to be moving forward, and if you've got anybody that you know of who wants to contribute to a great cause, we'd love to accept their contribution to our campaign. Thank you.
Where's this at? Tell us more about it.
This is, this is in Milwaukee. It's right at our current campus, so immediately across the street from Milwaukee High School. The overall campus will include 3 components: a new Annie Ross House shelter that is purpose-built, so not just a reused, repurposed older home, but really purpose-built with a sense of how to create the healthiest living environment for folks who are there, giving folks a little bit of privacy, a little bit of space, and really helping people to be focused on getting to their next housing option. Is also a 60% expansion of the shelter size. Then 28 units of affordable housing. 5 of those units targeted for families who've experienced homelessness, 2 of those units targeted to veteran families. And then a new office building, new operations center for us, which is where the home base program will be housed, as well as our other direct services and back office.
So you're going to tear down the buildings.
We are tearing down.
So what are you
all the-
doing with my dining room table?
That was a dining room table?
Yeah, that's my dining room table.
It was
I
as
donate.
big as this.
Yes, it was my dining room
If you have
table.
a truck, you can back it up. It's still there
It is still
for
there.
a few more months.
He's got a shop right down the street he can put it.
Yeah,
so-
you can store things in there
Trucks,
till
I can
October.
help him if he wants to truck it.
Not much longer, yeah.
This is
So
going to be
Milwaukee will be changing in
Wow,
a lot
that's
of different
great.
ways.
That's
very
good
exciting
news.
time for us. We are going to have this funding and the staff to continue to provide services. It's going to challenge us more to get out there where the people are instead of them coming into us. We've been talking to the churches for a while. The Sun Network is still going to be in operation, but it's going to be an exciting time for us.
It's great to have a good city council that's supportive.
Yeah,
It is, absolutely.
So I just reconfirmed back and forth with Rich. So we do have $100,000 for home base and social services and $100,000 in the fund balance in the director's office. That's part of the
So you,
package.
yay.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you for
Thank you.
confirming that.
It's
That's
really
good news for
important. We know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Great.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
thank you, good to see you. Anybody else?
Any other public testimony to be offered?
Okay.
It's not going out and drawing them in? No? Okay.
This is great.
One twirling signs out on the corner, okay.
Great opportunity for Pamplin Media to tell us what they think.
Well, he knows all our secrets now, though.
Even the secret that we found
Yeah.
out today.
He knows about it.
The other member of the audience just wants her
Breaking
husband
news,
back.
that was, yeah, that's time. Well,
Chair, don't we have time for the
Oh, is
Budget
that
Committee
somebody
talent
you
show?
know?
yeah, we could. That's right. Is that before or after happy hour?
Forgo that.
We've got all these great microphones. We could go into karaoke.
Oh, no, not doing that. Paul and I will do the can-can for you.
Well,
You'll have to show me.
I
I guess
believe our
not,
public
right?
testimony portion of our evening program may be done at this point. That being said, I think we can recess until tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., June 1st. And so I will adjourn for the evening until tomorrow.
Can we leave our book here?